A Canadian boxing legend, a Hall of Famer himself, Mr. George Chuvalo. George, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Now, the question that I have for you is, what advice do you have to children who are facing depression and facing issues of low self-esteem and things like, being bullied and picked on, and how do you overcome that sort of thing when you don't want to live anymore?
Well, I think what's very important is to feel good about yourself. I think one of the things that makes one feel good about themselves is being able to have confidence in their ability to take care of themselves in tough situations. What's the best way to do that? I think it's to work out. Take care of yourself in the gym. Take care of yourself in the gym in terms of working out, developing your body, working out with weights, getting a good line of instruction from someone at the gym, or whoever might want to train them, or you can just ask the owners of the gym for advice on how to lift weights. When you develop your body, you start getting proud. You start being proud of yourself. You start getting some confidence in yourself. You lift weights, you see the muscles popping out, and you're a lot less likely to get involved in a fight when somebody sees your body, when he sees that if you come over and you meet somebody, and for whatever crazy reason, if something would start, someone who's well built is more apt to take care of themselves. And that, I think that means a lot to a young person. It gives them a lot of confidence, it gives them a lot of sense of well-being, and less chance of getting involved in trouble. When you're well built, you look like it, and when you can obviously see someone who's in good shape, your adversary or would-be adversary is somewhat reluctant to get involved because you look good and you feel good, and someone would be pretty tough to handle. So less chance of getting in trouble that way when you look like you can do some damage yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. And the question is, there's this misconception that when someone trains in boxing or mixed martial arts, there's this association with violence. But tell me a little bit about how the discipline is instilled in someone who trains in that, whether it's diet or getting up every morning and training at 5 in the morning, or going for that run every day after school or before school, or skipping. Well, the discipline.
Getting in shape involves a lot of discipline. And the more discipline you have in your life, the easier it is to control your life. And when you have discipline, you're more apt to train hard, or train harder than the average person. When you have discipline, you're more apt to get in shape, in better shape than the average person. And when you look like you can fight, when you look like you can do some damage, so to speak, people are less likely to get involved in that manner. So it's important to look good. It's important to have confidence in yourself. It's important to exude confidence, and you're more liable to exude confidence when you look like you can handle yourself. When you walk around, you show bulging biceps. Someone's less apt to try to feel tough with you. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Now, a little known fact: George and I both worked on a movie called 8 Count. You can definitely IMDb that. Now, George, when you were working on that film, I saw you. It looked like you had some flashbacks to those Ali days, those Ali fights. What was one of the things that you remember clearly and vividly to this day about that fight? Do you still remember the crowd, maybe the roar of the crowd, or do you remember maybe moments before the fight? Like, what were your thoughts going into that fight, like backstage?
Well, my thoughts are the same as my thoughts for every other fight I've ever had in my life. You always walk in, I've always been confident in my ability to fight. And I never thought anybody was going to beat me, even Muhammad Ali. I always thought I had a good shot to beat him no matter what. And it was a tough fight, and I had 2 tough fights with him. But when you're a fighter, you feel that no matter what, somehow you're going to win. And no matter what, somehow you'll emerge victorious. And I always felt that way in a fight, no matter what the results were. I always felt confident in the fight that I'd be able to handle myself well enough to hopefully win.
Yep. Now, what's it like having thousands of your fellow compatriots, fellow Canadians watching you in your hometown, and they're obviously cheering you on, chanting? Like, does anything ever match that, adrenaline-wise?
Well, it's always
like with the admiration, cheering for you and rooting for you?
Well, in Canada, generally people are going to root for me. If I go somewhere else and find someone in their hometown, generally they'll root for my adversary. It always feels good when people yell your name, when they encourage you in the fight, to win the fight, to keep punching and do your best. You can kind of hear that in the background. Sometimes you just all you hear is a roar, but sometimes you can decipher the people yelling for you or the people yelling for your opponents.
Yeah. Now, when you had that match with him, we all know that Ali was charismatic. He was known for building fights through his verbiage, his speaking, his. What did you think of that as a boxer? Because that was
first of all, he didn't do that much with me. He didn't talk much. A couple times in the second fight, but he wasn't very verbose that way in our fights. Although I've seen him do that a lot with other guys, a few other guys anyway. So, but he wasn't that way with me. Not to any large degree. Just a couple times he said something. It's hard to remember things. It's like I could have said, "Excuse me, Muhammad, I didn't hear that last phrase. Could you please repeat yourself?" You know what I mean? Yeah. When you're fighting, you can say whatever. I might pick it up, or I might not. But you're in the midst of exchanging blows, and it's pretty serious business. You don't want to get hit. I want to hit you. I don't want you to hit me. It's that kind of thing.
Yep.